Pure and Flux, the Red Dragons, up against Clara and Sam, the RWH and White Sourdough. So this is going to be an interesting matchup again. I think it'd be interesting. I really do think it's interesting how little basement site has been played in these last few games. Certainly one that you'd expect to see more. With this also being the last of the Hereford base matches, the next round of matches when winners going up against winners will be on Coastline, so that's something to watch out for.
I look forward to that.
Much smaller map.
It's a much better map for this scenario. Shout out to Nightmare, our sweet baby boy who couldn't carry the heavy load. Nightmare, you're being called out. Okay, so we start off with the Jackal.
They appreciate you. We got shout outs, Clara shout out to her mum too. It's an unfortunate time there, guys. Jackal ban, okay, looks like we're definitely going to be having more roaming done then on this. From, well, certainly from Orange team there with that first ban. Gonna be interesting to see how Flux and Pure work together too. With being first and second entry on Red Dragons, it's gonna be a really interesting matchup. I do think it's gonna be a lot more serious, more try-hard. Although then again, saying that, Ian and Cisco's last game did become more and more serious the more rounds that went on. I mean, it started off more jokey and very quickly became kind of almost like they had a point to prove, you know?
I do have to admit though, not knowing much about Red Dragons myself, I will be looking upon these two as a insight to how their team works. And as you said, they're what, first and second fragger, entry fragger?
Yes.
It's gonna. If I'm expecting some rushes, and I'm still waiting for the the Amaru rush, and I'm not gonna be set. Oh god, we've got Ace again, and Mozzie and Malusi again.
There's solid picks on this kind of map. That's the thing. I think we're definitely seeing people now starting to settle down into what kind of operators they think are decent. And Mozzie with the counter intel, and Malusi then with just slowing them down. Again, more intel in that sense is a really powerful pick. And the Ace, of course, interesting. They've gone for 2 hard breaches though. They don't have a soft. I think the Ace is definitely a solid pick. I'm not so sure about having the Hibana with it as well though.
10 seconds
That's
remaining.
3 flashes, 2 smokes though, so they could be just going for the plant.
5 seconds.
That is true, and there are no counter grenade measures. We don't have an Aruni, a Jaeger,
Objective is to
or
locate
a
bomb and defuse it.
Wamai here, so this could potentially work quite well for them if they play it right.
Got Flux prepping some windows, so it looks like they are going to be planning to play somewhat aggressive.
Aggressive on defense, we haven't really seen that yet, so that will be an interesting play for them if they do decide to do that here. Every team so far today has been playing on the more defensive and anchoring side on defense.
Looks like only 2 reinforcements been used, and there's one on either side of this wall on the north side, and they've just kind of left it all. Well, we're seeing already a speed difference to how the last few matches have been. We've got Sourdough droning, and now we've got Vrwh droning ahead of Sourdough for him to peek. Looks like they are focusing a push from this side of the building. We got Sourdough droning ahead of the Hibana, while Malusi seems to be watching for that drone, trying to hide from it,
By attackers.
but got spotted quite clearly.
Yeah, definitely, probably safer there to just go for the drone and quickly rotate out rather than trying to hide from it. I get the play, but in this very, very open area, that is just too difficult to do. They obviously know the Malusi has her gadgets set up all along the wall there, which is causing them quite a few issues already. You can see them struggling to think of how they're going to push.
Looks like all the focus so far is on that Malusi, very little on the Mozzie himself. Slight miscalculation there with the Hibana pellets.
Yep, they are using those flash grenades now to really
15
try and
seconds to go.
damage that Melusi, but they still need to push past all of Melusi's gadgets, which is set down on that side of the map. They don't want to get too tunnel visioned either, because if they do,
5 seconds
then
to
they're
go.
going to be taken out from that side.
And
But they saw it with Clara then, knowing that someone was around that corner, not like trusting. In this instance, they definitely trusted Sourdough to have their back, which paid off in the long run. That was a very good kill.
that was beautifully done by Vrwh. Looks like the Red Dragons are feeling the heat, which is not well known for dragons to be weak to. Got another Mozzie and Ace, Legion and Habana. Looks like we're seeing the same rotation of operators this match. Some strong operator picks from here, but
Attackers need to locate and
Oh.
defuse
You know,
bombs.
I was
basement.
skeptical of the Ace Hibana pick, but I mean, I'm still skeptical. They didn't use their gadgets pretty much at all. Well, Hibana did, but it wasn't necessary in that instance. It'd be interesting to see. I think Hibana's pellets could have quite easily been shot off there by, I believe it was Legion, who was standing on the crossfire. I'm interested as to why he didn't.
Yeah, I think it's he didn't get droned. There was no focus on that Legion, so his presence was quite unknown.
Purely by sound and by knowing the crossfire, I think V there definitely got the shot. But I think a lot of that came from trust. I mean, V and Sourdough clearly trust each other in this instance. V trusted Sourdough to have her back, and it paid off. It really did. They both took out people in pretty much the same time.
Oh.
Running straight down to the basement there, while Sour's still droning. Both of them droning now. Knowing the Mozzie is there, though, stopping them getting any further intel that could be seriously damaging to them later on.
Looks like they've backed off and they're just letting... Oh, and she walks into the headshot fire from him. PureAnguish picking up a
Was
nice
very
little
much
headshot.
an unlucky issue there.
Oh, and a beautiful little pickup from Flux.
They've definitely picked up better here. This is what I mean, you know, basement site can be a really good defense site, and this is the first time we've really seen it being played properly.
In Sourdough's defense there, Mozzie's head does blend into that top half of that basement stairwell. So it was pretty much... it was easy to see that why Sourdough might have not seen him. Ooh, a lion pick. Interesting. Finally, a uniquely new operator to be picked.
This is the second time we're seeing Alibi being played, though, and certainly still with the ace there for the hard breach capability.
Lucine Alibi versus Habana and Lion.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Got some reinforcement in the ace site. Looks like Melusi's placing up that trap to kind of stop the
10 seconds
or
remaining.
slow down the entry push from bathroom.
5
Both
seconds
drones
to go.
still
Definitely
there.
going to be helpful in this scenario, though. We've seen quite a few successful pushes from that side of the
Attackers are
map so
heading out
far,
to
so
defuse a bomb.
Pure
Melusi's
Anguish
definitely
failed.
recognizing weakness.
Yeah, and the Pure Anguish failed to kill both drones and got duped by one, but eventually taken out V's drone before the exit. Oh, they're being speedy on the push. Is that on the roof or the window? Well, got one on that roof. Flux being upstairs on that hatch. Sourdough still just hanging out. Windows being broke on that far south side. Flux dropping hatch and taking down V just after she entered. It looks like it's unknown to Sourdough where the others are.
Definitely a bad situation now, putting Sourdough in. without the hard breach, that's pretty difficult. V there asking in chat, were they there the whole time? Flux coming around with the rotate, that was definitely not the way they wanted that to go down.
Well, we got Sourdough finally making a small little push. His position has been given away, limiting what he can do in these last 37 seconds.
Very loud though, running across that top floor. They're definitely going to know that he's there. Question is he going to be able to hold that angle? That Malusi though, yeah.
No, Malusi was
immediately.
ready. He was prepped for that push. Looks like Red Dragons are starting to get more comfortable. That first round was clearly just a warm-up to understanding their opponents. They're now bringing in that heat. Seen another Habana and Ash, two very well-known fraggers, with an Aruni and a Malusi. Interesting duo right there. No.
I think we're definitely seeing more unique combinations from these teams here than we have seen in the last few rounds. It's certainly not a bad thing.
My philosophy is clearly, if you complain long enough and hard enough, it will change. And it is proven right here in this match, as in we're getting some new unique pushes.
Interesting first wall to go for reinforced though would be there. But an important one, certainly if they're expecting them to push from that north side.
Very little pushes have been made from the top right there. From this balcony, we haven't seen any pushes. The closest one we've seen is they ran up the stairs.
We've seen more defenders holding from that room than we have attackers actually going for it, which I think is quite interesting considering how easy a bathroom push can be if the attackers really do commit to it. But the Malusi there is obviously planning for that just in case they go for it. Having the Malusi in the middle of the room is going to severely limit movement if they do decide to go there.
Looks like they're going from the top floor.
Not wasting much time there as Flux immediately shoots out that window.
And clearly droning it.
And Anguish getting the long angle, yeah, it's pretty smart.
You can see Anguish is actually on his drone, ensuring that the top floor is clear with Flux. Making see if they can do a top floor push. Oh, and they've breached.
Attackers have located a bomb. Bomb located by attackers.
Holding steady, checking cameras. Looks like Pure is wasting no time opening up that floor, ensuring to get the long off shot on someone.
He's definitely trying to play a strong vertical angle here, but the problem with sights on this map, especially this site just here, there aren't actually many options, or many vertical angles that can be applicable here.
Looks like Flux was going down those stairs and got picked off. And Ash gets taken out.
Taken out in that gunfight with Sour there. That was a tough fight.
That was a beautiful 2v1 by Sourdough versus Red Dragons. Clearly we see who Red Dragons needs to recruit next for their defense team. Oh, that insta-pick to Zofia from Flux. Looks like they've done playing around. Got another Malusi coming in. I think it's safe to say the meta for this bracket was Malusi and... Oh!
Malusi and Legion have been the most picked defense operators so far.
Most definitely.
I think it's quite interesting that it's trap ops that seem to be the most utilized in this
Attackers need
2v2
to locate
situation.
and defuse
Perhaps it's the
bomb.
map. We might see something completely different with Coastline in the next set of games, but for now, this is, yeah, an odd pick, I think. Certainly with the Rook there.
Yeah.
She drawing on the
Bomb located by attackers.
V there drawing a heart. Got to appreciate giving a little bit of love back. But
10 seconds
yeah,
to
I think
go.
this is definitely an interesting pick from them. It'll be interesting to see how they try and
5
utilize that.
seconds to insertion.
I guess they're thinking the armor might give them a bit more luck in those gunfights that Sour had
Attackers are moving
against
to
the
defuse
Ash
the bomb.
last game.
Yep, it's clear to see who the MVP so far is, as Sour is really holding his own there, picking off some nice, beautiful kills. Placing his Malusi's an easy to get, but very useful position.
Well, that is
slow them
actually
down.
not that easy to get. I mean, you were looking at either using an explosive or walking up to it, by which point you're already through the door and having to take several seconds to reach it. That is not a bad spot. The ones in the middle of the floor, though, those can easily be taken out by utility. But, and the Zephyr will do that, certainly. They're very much going anti-Melusi with that Zephyr.
Yeah. We've only seen Flux out there as Anguish on that top. But
Yeah, that's south side. Looks like they're both pushing down on separate sides of the map this time, trying to pincer the defending operators. Splitting up their attention could actually help them get the win. But as we can see, this match seems to be pretty close right now. Both teams on 2 wins. This could be another overtime situation.
it's very hard to determine who might win from this.
I'd say it's still definitely very even. I wouldn't want to make any predictions at this point. Very different from some of the previous games. I think, it's nice to see how close they are getting.
Sourdough being droned and forced to reposition. Taking it very slowly, but with 40 seconds to go, not much options.
Very good drone spot there, spotting that Melusi. That could potentially really hurt them. 30 seconds though, you're right, they don't have a lot of time here.
Rook holding
And
a
the
nice
defenders
little
know
tight
it.
peek.
Yeah, defenders know it and they are going to utilize that to their
They're both
fullest
holding
extent.
the same angle though, but from 2 very different angles.
15 seconds to
The
go.
crossfire could be helpful, but it could also kill them.
10 seconds remaining.
Sneaking in here, Anguish from behind, probably going to take Sour out.
5 seconds
Oh!
to go.
Careful.
He's, taken out.
Looked the wrong way. And
Oh.
they're planting. Oh. V takes one out. Needs to take the other though. Looking the wrong direction.
Oh, she manages to
She
do
takes
it.
them down. That was a very, very good flick there, having to turn around. Lots of little corners on this basement site that can make defending it pretty difficult, but that
Bomb
was
defusing attempt.
very good. I think she just had a heart attack, but that was very good. I don't think the ace was expecting her to turn that quickly in
No.
any sense.
That ace was caught off guard.
Certainly going to be kicking themselves at this point for that, yeah.
Oh, looks like we're going back to the attic. With an Ash and Ace and a Melusi. And who is V going to go?
5 seconds left to pick. If she doesn't pick soon, it will pick for her.
Another Rook
Going
pick.
Rook again.
It did serve her well in that first round.
I do think the armor might just have saved her against the ace. I'm not gonna lie, it was a very, very close call on that gunfight.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
A lot more open though again on this top floor than that basement site, so it'll be interesting to see how they play it differently.
Got 2 proxies and
Melusi
2
is gonna
impacts.
limit it though. Yeah, Melusi's gonna limit movement and limit where they can push from, which is a very good pick here.
Bomb located by attackers.
Trying to take out those drones, just can't seem to get them there. Melusi struggling a little bit
Located a
there.
bomb.
Poor Sour.
10 seconds left. before
Flux
There.
is just giving him the runaround. There we go.
1 point to Sour for eventually getting that. I would have given up after the first mag.
Attackers' objective is to defuse a bomb.
Probably would have as well. I'm not gonna.
Alright, so we're seeing some actual reinforcements being done here. Not like that's actually affected much, honestly.
Yeah, with the pretty much permanent at least one hard breach in the form of Ace or Hibana, it doesn't seem to be affecting that much in terms of things, especially as people aren't playing counter breach because it's just not worth the pick when only in a 2v2 situation they need more intel than that.
Mm-hmm. And that's why Malusi is so far. That'll be why they're the top pick, is because Malusi gives that intel. It's not just a you shoot and destroy. It's a you have to destroy it with explosive
Yeah, and
or
same
a
with
melee.
Legion with the invisible Legion. Doom mines are really damaging in this kind of game.
Oh, we're finally seeing some action. V and Ash. Oh, and going down to the Ash with a pixel headshot.
Yeah, Flex there getting a really good headshot there. Knew that V was going to push him and just waited patiently. The patience on offense there is something that you don't often see, but is vital for winning some of these games, especially if defense is playing aggressively.
Doesn't look like the other two know exactly where he is. Taking their time since they have the time advantage. Pinging
Yeah, it seems like he's
exactly.
not spotted the drone either. That could be really damaging for the Malusi here.
Yeah, he knows he's gone for a tight right. Oh, and he and the diffuser gets taken down in the middle of the hole.
Diffuser down with him. That is going to be bad. Clutching it there. That was very close. Very, very close. Back onto 3-3. Once again, we're seeing a super close matchup between these two teams.
Those proxy alarms were well placed as well, definitely given the intel needed, but we can see Sourdough was just a little too slow for the push of that. I forgot who the second put. Ash. I remember. I big brain. I remember. Got another
That's
Habana
alright, don't
and
worry about it.
Zofia. Same picks. On the attack, it's interesting that Capitel's not played. I can totally see him being quite useful, and I'm surprised not seeing a Monty either.
A lot of hard angles being held, so yeah, Capital being able to flush people out would be really handy in these situations. And the Monty could allow for a quick plant. But with the use of Malusi and Legion, perhaps that's why they haven't been picking them so much, not wanting to get caught off guard by things that slow them down even more than they normally would. Chatting in chat there. You know, it's quite astounding, really. V is quite ill, has been for a couple of days now. So the fact that she is playing this well, considering, I think, is soldiering on really right there.
Seems like one of the Red Dragons themselves are feeling quite
Is
under the
also
weather.
ill. Yeah.
So,
Pure seems also to be a bit under the weather. So this is a matchup against people who are not necessarily at their best, and they're still playing remarkably well considering. Got to give them credit for that.
Attackers have located a bomb.
although still haven't found out Sourdough's reason for missing those drones.
Yep, they are struggling a little bit on the drone front, I think. These guys, Sour and V, are struggling a little bit.
They forget ammunition is not unlimited there, so every mag counts. Looks like they don't have any defense, so that Habana will remain uncontested for this little wall breach here. As you can see, she's doing a crouch through. No one seems to be noticing. Is V gonna notice the sounding of it? Oh, it looks like it.
Question is, can she successfully hold this angle for long enough to actually make a big difference? Mozzie there getting a drone though, definitely gonna harm that intel game, and might make them a little bit more cautious in the push. At the end of the day, with a short timer like we're running here, just keeping them on their toes and keeping them anxious is gonna help the defenders win.
Intel
A lot
and
of use
reaction
of the
speed.
slow walk though as well.
Yeah, oh, we're gonna see some. Oh, there's a Mozzie and a Zofia gunfight. Zofia taking some damage, and the Mozzie just walking away unscathed.
Definitely close there though. Unfortunately, the Zofia seemed to shoot a little bit around the Mozzie instead of actually on them.
Yeah.
Classic case of paint around me. Interesting opening up that wall there.
Yeah. It looks like they have split up. One going from the basement to try and catch any off guard, holding that hallway angle. And Zofia making noise to try and grab the focus away from Flux, which is also a nice little...
Nice
Good.
teamwork, certainly.
Yeah. We've got Mozzie utilising his drones, which we haven't seen in the prior matches. Did he see the one on the stairs? Yep, there it is.
He did, and he's pinged it. That is going to put them at a bit of a disadvantage since they were clearly trying to catch them up.
That's one down.
Injured the Hibana, but
and
managed to clutch it.
Yeah.
That Hibana just a little bit unlucky there, deciding to run upstairs rather than retreat back down. End of the day, wasn't a bad call. It just, the timing of that was just unlucky. Interesting to see the Mozzie really come into their own though there. Don't want to attack. They're struggling a little bit, that's fine. They've definitely been more defender-sided, both teams, on this one.
Most definitely. You didn't hear that.
Totally didn't, no.
Another Malusian ace. At this point, we might as well take bets on who doesn't go the same. Oh, and another
And the
knock.
Legion, there we go. There's the picks that we've been expecting to see this entire time. Legion Malusi is going to be really difficult to play against, I think.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it's surprising how this match is outcoming. So far, it's
So close again. We're in another overtime. Who'd have thought that? Again, going for the basic rules that you normally reinforce. I think the problem is that the Malusi and the Legion are just going to slow them down so much that with a shorter timer like we're running for these tournaments, it might be quite difficult for them to actually make it onto site in time or force them to push last second, which is a really bad situation to be in.
Most definitely.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Well, they've put that site on lockdown.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
They've certainly
Attackers have recovered
utilised
the diffuser.
every reinforcement past the one to A from bathroom. They're leaving that one unscathed. But looking at it, it does not matter as the attackers have spawned on the west side. See the knock is now droning any roamers that might be on that first floor ahead of Sourdough. Currently, there is
They're
no
definitely
hatches.
making good use of drones. That's the thing I've seen in this game versus the last one. These guys are droning far more, and it's definitely paying off. Especially that Mozzie in the last round there. The Mozzie's use of the drones made them win. Intel is a huge thing on this map, especially with a lot of the soft walls and the open rotates and things like that. It's just really damaging them.
Taking a long push. Not going up the stairs that they had previously droned, but it's alright. Via has another drone saved, droning ahead of herself, making sure no one's on that top
Really
floor.
using those drones just so very well. Malusi, though, knowing that she's coming from that way, really is holding a tight angle on that door. Knock checking the back rooms, that's pretty important. And Ace bringing down that wall. That is going to be a big problem for those defenders.
So we've got Malusi at the bunks watching.
Interesting choice to lie down there with the attacker. Although it is forcing the Malusi to come a bit out of position, and yes, the Ace now knows she's there. That could be damaging for her.
A bomb has been located. 15 seconds remaining.
13 seconds. V goes down from the
10 seconds to go.
Malusi, and Malusi's taking that double kill.
Definitely a good play from the Malusi there. Just that gunplay was on point.
V seems to be unhappy about that prone kill.
Well, that's the thing. I think the Malusi knew in that situation that they had very limited options, and to be honest, the opening of that wall, they were playing it surprisingly calm. I think that's the thing, you know. If they'd have freaked out or tried to rotate out, which I think a lot of players would have done in that situation, it would have gotten them killed. So their calmness there definitely won them around.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And now we're at the overtime match point.
Once again, this is the round to take it all, and I think I'm pretty sure blue team are going to be pretty happy to be on defense here. Both teams have been playing stronger on defense than offense.
Just to quickly answer the one little question that popped up in chat that caught my eye, is we do hold tournaments every 2 weeks. This tournament, it is late to join, but if you were to join the Discord that is linked to the Twitch, you can join up and sign up for the next tournament that will be scheduled on the 29th, is it? 28th?
2 weeks today. Let me get my schedule up. 27th.
27th, there we go. That'll be when the next tournament is.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, please do join, guys. Come join the Discord. Come meet us. We do chat. We do game. We play a lot of different games, not just Siege. And we'll be more than happy to meet you guys and for you guys to get involved in our next tournament. We also have Jackbox bi-weekly games, and we have movie nights starting on a probably weekly basis soon as well. Thank you to Tez for inviting them. Appreciate that, my dude.
Ooh. Well, it looks like we might actually get some bathroom pushing. Like I said, complain enough and you shall get, and we might just get it. But,
you know, it is about time that we're looking at people getting bathroom side. Thing is, they could just as easily head to top floor from that place. It is interesting to me how little they are choosing to push bathroom, especially as most teams have been leaving the rules to bathroom soft.
Yeah. We've got the Ash hanging outside of the window to where... Oh, and we've got Ace in, already breaching.
Bomb located by attackers.
Got Ace slowly pushing and droning ahead of him, catching the rook behind where the Melusi previously was.
Playing quite slowly though, they do only have a minute left to complete this push, but opening up that wall could make V panic here as the rook. Interesting to see though, Sour heading for a long rotate, trying to catch them off guard from behind. If that's successful, that could be really damaging for the Red Dragons here.
I need to point out that playing rook, only 2 people to get that armor, and Sourdough didn't actually get the armor. He's sitting there on those stairs, watching out for that ace. Which means Flux is actually uncontested on his side of the map.
Just answering some questions in the Twitch chat there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if Flux could potentially really do a lot of damage if he decides to push here. Getting the really nice clean headshot kill there, Pure there, damaging him badly. And Flux taking him out as he goes for the rotate.
And the Ash, like I said, being uncontested, was able to pick off a nice little kill, as it seems like he was kind of forgotten on that side. Red Dragons bringing home that victory.
That side was damaging. Good job though to the Red Dragons there, to Flux and Pure. Really, really genuinely great game. They will be up soon then.
They will be not the next, but the match after, because it looks like...
Right. Next game, we're going to be doing the winners of game 1 and 2 against each other, and we're moving on to Coastline, everyone. So that is going to be a fun time.
Barna and Zumi versus Tesco and Cisco.